Solving triangles notes. Solving a triangle means finding all three angles, A, B, and C, and all three sides, little a, little b, little c. So it's finding all 6 parts of a triangle. We have 2 equations we can use. One thing about right triangles is that the 3 angles must add up to 180 degrees. That is true of any right triangle. So A plus B plus C has to add up to 180. We also know that for the sides, little a, little b, little c, that a squared plus b squared must equal c squared. We also know the trig functions sine, cosine, and tangent. And those can help us find angles and sides as well. So using this information, we would like to solve the right triangle below. This means finding all 6 parts of the triangle, all 3 angles, A, B, C, and all 3 sides, little a, little b, little c. Now, I have to give you 3 of the 6 parts, okay? In every right triangle, the measure of angle C is always 90 degrees. And then in this case, I've given you 2 sides. Remember, the side opposite capital A is little a, and the side opposite capital B is little b, and the side opposite C is C. So I must give you 3 of the 6 parts. So I've given you that angle C is 90 degrees. Little a is 3, and little c is 5. So since I know 2 of the sides, I can find the 3rd side using the Pythagorean theorem. So A is 3, B I'm not sure, and C is 5. So 3 squared is 9, 5 squared is 25, 5 times 5. Now I subtract 9 from both sides. I get B squared is 16. And now I need to figure out what squared gives me 16. And the way to do that is to take the square root of both sides. And the square root of 16 is 4. So now I know that B is 4, and I can fill that in here. Now I know all 3 sides. I'm going to try to find another angle that I don't know, either A or B. Let's find A, capital A. Now I can use sine, cosine, or tangent for this, since I have all 3 sides. So I'm going to use sine. So sine of capital A is equal to the opposite over the hypotenuse. The opposite side of A is 3, and the hypotenuse is 5. Now, 3/5 is 0.6. So now to find the angle, I need to look at the sine sheet and look up 0.6 to find the angle. Now the 0.6 is the sine, so I'll be looking at it in the 2nd column. I just want to find a number as close as I can to 0.6. And this is as close as I can get. So that means the angle would be 37 degrees. So I just found that A is 37 degrees. So I can fill that into my chart. Now I'm only missing one side, and that's one angle, that's angle B. And we know that all 3 sides, all 3 angles have to add up to 180 degrees. A is 37, B I don't know yet, and C is always 90. So I can add 37 and 90 together. 37 and 90 is 127. So I'm adding these like terms. And then I simply subtract 127 from both sides. And I get B must be 53 degrees. So over here, B is 53 degrees. Now I have all 6 parts of the triangle. I have solved the triangle. Now, everyone should get half the points for this every time because I've given you 3 of the parts. To get all 6 points, you need to find the 3 missing parts. Let's try another example. So here's my triangle. I have ABC, and I could write in little a, little b, and little c as well. That helps. Now, 3 of these parts have to be given to me. So capital A is 30. Capital C is always 90. And I have little b is 10. So I think this time I'm going to start out finding angle B, because I know that A plus B plus C is 180. So A is 30. I don't know B. C is 90. And it has to equal 180. So I can add these 2 like terms together, the 2 angles. So I have B plus 120 equals 180. I'm going to subtract 120 from both sides. I get B is 60 degrees. So over here, B is 60 degrees. And I can even write that in the picture too. Now I need to find another side. I have 1, I have B is 10. So to do that, now we're going to use sine, cosine, or tangent. And let's use angle A, and let's try to find little a. And I have the adjacent side, 10. So A would be the opposite, this would be adjacent, that suggests tangent. So tangent of A is opposite over hypotenuse. A is 30 degrees, so tangent of 30 degrees equals opposite over hypotenuse. Now I look up tangent 30 on my sheets. So tangent 30 is 0.5773. So I'm going to replace tangent 30 with 0.5773. Now to solve this, I simply multiply both sides by 10, and that gives me A. 10 times that is 5.773, and we're going to round that to 5.8. So now I have A, 5.8. Now I have 2 sides and I'm missing the third. When I have 2 sides, I can use the Pythagorean theorem. A squared plus B squared equals C squared. So A is 5.8, B is 10, and I'm not sure what C is. So I need to square these. 5.8 squared is 33.6. 10 squared is 100. Add these 2 together. I have 133.6. And now to solve this, I simply take the square root of both sides. And that's 11.6. So now I have all 6 parts of that right triangle. So to solve right triangles, use the fact that all 3 angles add up to 180 degrees and that the 3 sides can be found using the Pythagorean theorem, and then also use SOHCAHTOA to find missing sides and angles as well. When you start these problems, the first thing I would do is write down the 6 parts you're looking for. And then fill in the 3 I give you. I always have to give you the right angle C, and I'll give you 2 other things. Then use that information to find the missing 3.